Hi, my name is Thierry Matusiak. I've been with IBM for almost 20 years now, and I am currently an architect in IBM France Security Division. Just a reminder, my opinions and this video content are mine and do not engage my employer. Besides, this video is for information purpose only and should not be considered legal advice regarding GDPR compliance in particular. So let's get started about today's topic. How operational data protection contributes to your GDPR journey. Let's consider a typical IT stack. It builds upon an infrastructure which should be properly managed and secured to ensure a proper level of IT hygiene. This includes vulnerability scanning and management, plus proper patches application. All of these representing business as usual tasks that your IT teams should already implement, but it does not hurt to check. Data gets stored on disks. To protect these files, GDPR advises to encrypt them so that they cannot be exploited in case of a data breach or data leak. Once data has been encrypted, you should carefully manage the corresponding decryption keys. Databases get accessed by applications and employees. Your database administrators, the so-called DBAs, represent a major insider threat, even if this is a touchy question. So you'd rather make sure they cannot access nor export business data. Then applications access to databases. You should first log this activity for compliance and forensics purpose, and put specific security measures in place to protect personal and sensitive data. Implement additional rules which will log sensitive requests access or dynamically mask data on the fly if you consider a user should not access this data because he has no need to know. You may even block dangerous transactions or quarantine the associated users or applications. Let's consider, for example, a ticketing application that would issue a query to extract your full customer databases. That should definitely draw your attention. Also keep in mind that GDPR forbids personal data alteration once it has been collected. Applications themselves often represent a weak link in the chain. If poorly coded, they may introduce vulnerabilities like SQL injections. The good news is that you can use scanners to analyze your running applications and their code to identify those weaknesses and initiate corrections. Associated to properly trained developers, this contributes to protection by design. Who is allowed to use those applications? And more importantly, who should be allowed to? Because you can often identify discrepancies between the rules defined in the profile's Holy Bible and the access rights that really exist in your system. So you should audit those existing authorizations profiles and compare them to the theory to identify deviations. Also run regular recertification campaigns to ensure your users do not keep access to applications that they do not need anymore. Without speaking about employees keeping access rights once they have left your company. Finally, you should also ensure a proper separation of duty. Does a process exist in your company to request access to sensitive data? Yes? This is good news, as long as an employee cannot be the approver of his own requests. This application stack, from the bottom to the top, will generate a huge set of mundane events. Your security analytics platform can collect and correlate this data to identify security incidents as quickly as possible. GDPR focuses on data privacy and data leaks, which can be identified by this security platform. Many major companies have already put it in place, so you will mainly have to ensure that it implements rules linked to data privacy. Once identified, incidents have to be managed in a repeatable way, mixing software automation and human processes orchestration. Both will help in solving the incident and notifying data authorities and your customers. This ends my talk for today. As usual, I hope you found it useful. Do not hesitate to connect with me on LinkedIn to continue the GDPR and security conversation.